ligaments cut. You can now separate the joint completely by applying gentle force, or using the knife to carefully detach any remaining tissues. Removing the joints from a beef carcass is an important step in butchering and processing the meat. Start skinning using the skinning knife. Make a shallow incision along the belly, starting from the base of the rib cage to the hindquarters. Be careful not to cut into the underlying muscle or puncture the intestines. Peel the skin. Gradually separate the skin from the underlying muscles by gently pulling and using the knife to help loosen any connective tissues or adhesions. Work your way from the belly towards the hindquarters and up to the neck area. Remove difficult areas. Pay extra attention to areas around the hocks and joints, as they may require additional effort to separate the skin. Skinning a beef carcass is a complex process that requires proper technique and tools. It is typically performed by skilled butchers or meat processors in a controlled environment. While providing a detailed step-by-step tutorial is not possible through text alone, that is why we provided you with a video of the process. Please note that this video is for informational purposes only and should not replace hands-on training or guidance from a professional. The process of removing the hide or skin from an animal carcass. Skinning or flaying is normally the job of the butcher, and, in general, the methods used in flaying give first priority to producing a good quality carcass, not hide, as the animal is generally slaughtered for its meat. The knife that is used to this process is the flaying knife. Or skinning knife is a professional tool for a skinner. Typically a skinner knife has wide, short, curved blade. Use long, smooth strokes of the knife to remove the hide down over the sides. This is one of the most difficult tasks in skinning. Skinning is done with care, keeping it in one piece so the hide can be sold for leather goods manufacturing. After skinning, they open the carcass to remove the internal organs and split the carcass in half. They spray the carcass with water to rinse away the blood and bone chips caused by the saws.
Please like, share, and follow for more.
Use long, smooth strokes of the knife to remove the hide down over the sides. This is one of the most difficult tasks in skinning. Opening the carcass after siding is done. Cut through the center of the brisket with a knife and saw through the breastbone. Insert the handle of the knife in the abdominal cavity, with the blade leaning backward to open the belly cavity. In case of a male, remove the penis before opening the carcass. Always remember to maintain the sharpness of your knife by using the sharpening steel or honing rod all throughout the process. Again, use long strokes on skinning the side part of the carcass. The inside of each round muscle over the pelvis is covered with a thick white membrane. Follow this membrane and avoid cutting into the muscle. The knife can be forced between the soft cartilage that joins the pelvic bone. In older animals, the pelvis must be sawed. The carcass is now ready for hoisting. Insert the hooks of a beef spreader or single tree in the tendons of the hind legs. After the carcass is partially hoisted, complete skinning the rounds and the back of the carcass. Always remember to maintain the sharpness of your knife by using the sharpening steel or honing rod all throughout the process. Removing the tail from a carcass can be done as part of the meat processing procedure. Carefully make a straight incision through the skin and muscle tissues around the base of the tail. Take care not to cut too deeply to avoid damaging the meat. Once the incision is made, use a combination of cutting and pulling actions to separate the tail from the surrounding tissues. Cut through any connective tissues, ligaments, or joints that attach the tail to the carcass. Once the tail is separated, pull it away from the carcass until it is completely detached.
If you reach this far, please like, follow, and share this video as a sign of thank you appreciation. for posting this video for U.S. trainees.
Evisceration is a crucial step in meat processing, particularly in poultry processing. It involves the removal of the internal organs, including the intestines, heart, liver, and other organs. Here are some reasons why evisceration is important. Food safety. Evisceration is important for food safety reasons. The internal organs of animals, particularly poultry, can harbor harmful bacteria such as Salmonella and Campylobacter, which can cause foodborne illnesses. By removing these organs, the risk of bacterial contamination is reduced, and the meat becomes safer for human consumption. Quality control. Evisceration is essential for quality control. The internal organs can affect the color, texture, and flavor of the meat. By removing these organs, the meat can be inspected for quality, ensuring that customers receive a high-quality product. Shelf life. Evisceration is critical for extending the shelf life of the meat. The internal organs of animals can harbor bacteria, which can cause spoilage and reduce the shelf life of the meat.
Splitting refers to the process of dividing a carcass into two halves along the spinal column, essentially creating two sides. The purpose of splitting is to make it easier to handle and process the carcass further. The splitting process is performed before quartering. The process of quartering refers to dividing a carcass into 4 sections or quarters. This method is commonly used in meat processing to further break down the carcass into manageable portions for various cuts or for transportation and storage purposes. Take 1/2 of the carcass and make another straight cut perpendicular to the initial cut, dividing it into 2 quarters. Repeat this process with the other half of the carcass. After quartering, the individual quarters can be processed into specific cuts according to the desired outcome. This may involve separating the quarters into primal cuts, subprimal cuts, or smaller retail portions based on the requirements of the meat processing operation. After the carcass has been quartered, the next steps in meat processing typically involve further breaking down the quarters into primal cuts, subprimal cuts, or retail portions. If this video helped you, kindly like and follow for more tutorials like this. And also like and follow Devo Butcher 9.